Hello and thanks for tuning in. In this segment, we're going to cover the anatomy of the Full-Lotus float. The Full-Lotus float is comprised of four main sections. You have the outer shell, the internal bladders, the hull cap, and the step anti-compression system, also known as the SACS system. We'll start with the outer shell. The outer shell material is made from tire cord strength material, and this gives the shape to the float once the bladders are inserted. There's four separate compartments in the front and four separate compartments in the rear, and these are all accessed using the zipper, which allow you to access the float through the top, where you can access your bladders and other components that are inside the float. There are 8 compartments, 4 in the front, 4 in the rear. There are also 8 bladders, 4 in the front and 4 in the rear. This is a rear bladder, and it would be faced this way in the float. You can see that these bladders are quite a bit larger than the compartments on the float. This is designed so that if we have a rupture in any one of the compartments, the other bladders will migrate over and fill that void, allowing you to get home safely. We also have the step anti-compression system, also known as the SACS system. This system works at the step of your float. It has 2 high compression bladders that will stand up like this vertically right at your step, and this gets sandwiched on the top of the float with your stiffener tubes that run the length over each of these parts. And what this does is when these are inflated, it creates a nice rigid step, which gives you high performance takeoffs and controlled landings. The final component is the hull cap. The hull cap is attached to the outer shell in the front portion, and this is what gives you abrasion resistance, whether it be beaching it or hitting something submerged. This is what takes the abuse. This is replaceable if you ever damage it. It's held on with stainless steel hardware, so it's corrosion resistant as well, like the rest of the float. Now when you put all the components together, add some air, this is what you end up with. You see the front hull cap portion, the internal bladders are in each of their compartments, the step system is where it belongs, and we end up with a rigid yet flexible float. We hope this has shed some light on how a Full-Lotus float is put together and how it works. In later segments we will go into more detail into each component. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll talk to you next time.